All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a really wild intersection, specifically that exact point where viral internet trends meet actual, hard human biology. We're looking at the very real science behind manifestation. If you spend like 5 minutes online these days, you've definitely seen the internet absolutely flooded with manifestation content. We are talking about literal cheat codes for clear skin, specific love spells to get a text back, and wealth attraction mantras. And honestly, it all sounds very mystical, but we have to ask ourselves, what is physically happening inside our bodies when people practice these techniques? Like, is it just magic or is it biology? So to figure this out, we're going to use scientific rigor to map these mystical-sounding practices to measurable neurological functions. We'll quickly run through where magic meets science, programming the subconscious mind, the gut-brain axis, heart and brain coherence, and finally rewiring through neuroplasticity. Let's just jump right in. Okay, Section 1, the magic meets science. Let's start by just looking at the massive cultural phenomenon surrounding manifestation. Look at the sheer scale of this whole thing. YouTube channels like Apurva Sharma and Happy Manifestors are pulling in millions of views. I mean, they're offering daily chants, specific numerical codes like 5594283 for clearing acne, and these intensive 30-day magical morning challenges designed to completely alter a person's reality. From manifesting a partner to landing a new job in 24 hours, people are deeply, deeply committed to these rituals. The engagement is just astronomical. But here is where it gets absolutely fascinating. We can actually translate these esoteric concepts directly into the language of neuroscience. When a spiritual teacher tells you to trust your intuition or raise your vibration, it sounds like poetry, right? But neurologically, you are literally activating your enteric nervous system and regulating your central nervous system. We aren't necessarily debunking the magic here. We're just giving it a biological name. Moving on to Section 2, programming the subconscious mind. Let's explore how our brains actually process these daily affirmations and chants. As law of attraction researcher Dr. Amit Kumar explains, manifestation heavily relies on the very real, very documented science of the placebo effect. This is where your sheer belief in a practice literally shapes your physical outcomes. See, your brain actually struggles to tell the difference between a real event and an event you were just deeply visualizing. Think about biting into a super sour lemon right this second. Your mouth probably just watered a little bit. That is your biology reacting to a mere thought.
Here's the catch, though. Dr. Kumar points out that if you attempt these practices while your body is consumed by stress, anxiety, or depression, your subconscious mind remains completely blocked. No biological alignment happens whatsoever. You simply cannot affirm your way out of a state of physiological panic. Your body has to actually feel safe for the placebo effect and the manifestation to take root.
Which brings us to Section 3, the gut-brain axis. If we need biological alignment and a sense of safety, we have to look at what neurologist Dr. Sweta Adaltia calls the second brain in our bodies. When spiritual teachers talk about trusting your gut, they are actually referring to a highly complex network called the enteric nervous system. This connects your stomach directly to your subconscious via the vagus nerve. And get this, it is powered by a staggering 500 million neurons. To put that into perspective, that is roughly the same number of neurons as an entire dog's brain, operating right inside your abdomen, just constantly reading your environment. This perfectly hits the nail on the head regarding Dr. Adadia's point. She says the brain is a pattern-recognizing machine, not a logic calculator. So a gut feeling, like getting butterflies in your stomach when you're nervous, that isn't a magical premonition. It is an objective neurological process. Your body recognizes physical warning signs and subtle environmental patterns way before your conscious logic catches up. When you tune into your intuition, you are quite literally listening to the data processed by those 500 million neurons in your gut.
All right, let's move to Section 4, heart and brain coherence. Let's see how this ties into the connectivity between our heart and our head.
Take a look at this data based on Dr. Joe Dispenza's extensive research. Most of us live our daily lives in a stressed survival state. This is characterized by erratic beta brainwaves. Think of that panicked, jittery feeling you get when you're dodging heavy traffic. This causes a major disconnect between your brain and your body. But focused meditation or deep manifestation routines physically shift the brain into a creation state, characterized by slower, highly coherent theta waves, which is super similar to that deep relaxation you feel right before falling asleep.
Dr. Dispenza's work shows that by combining deep breathing with elevated emotions, things like gratitude, love, and compassion, you achieve heart-brain coherence. It's honestly like tuning an entire orchestra to play in perfect sync. You aren't just thinking positively, you are biologically forcing your nervous system to regulate itself, pulling your body out of survival mode and into a state where cellular healing and real subconscious changes can actually happen.
Finally, Section 5, Rewiring through Neuroplasticity. How does all of this nervous system regulation actually lead to permanent, real-world change in a person's life? Well, it all comes down to neuroplasticity. This is your brain's ability to fundamentally reorganize itself by forming totally new neural pathways. Think of your brain like a really dense forest. The more you walk the exact same path, the clearer and easier that trail becomes. So when we see creators recommending a 108 chant prayer, or when people visualize a specific goal every single day, they are relying on repetition. That repetitive thought is physically carving new, permanent pathways into the prefrontal cortex of their brain over time.
So what is the big takeaway for us here? You really don't have to view manifestation as some unapproachable mystical magic. You can apply this science right now using 3 biological steps. First, use deep breathing to lower stress and regulate that vagus nerve. Second, use vivid visualization to purposefully light up your prefrontal cortex. And third, generate real emotional coherence, like genuine gratitude, to align your brain and your body. By doing this, you're actively building a brand new biological baseline, rather than just kind of sitting around waiting for the universe to do you a favor.
We've bridged the gap today between mystical internet trends and hard, measurable neuroscience. So I'm going to leave you with this one thought to consider. If the sheer force of your repetitive thoughts and your regulated emotions can literally, physically reshape the neural pathways inside your own head, what will you build next? Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and we'll see you next time.